Society killed you, dude. When you were born and you were just taken in the world and you had no problems to worry about, it was just you and creativity. You and your toys and making up stories. You with your Legos building up new things out of the set. You know, you playing Minecraft when you were a kid. There was nothing that could stop you. Ideas on ideas on ideas on ideas. But then society told you you have to monetize everything that you want to do for fun. And so that kills your idea because you're producing so that you can consume. I feel like producing so you can consume is not creativity. That's work. That's a means to an end. I think all the best goals don't have an end. If you're like, I just want to play piano, you'll probably go very far. But if you're like, I need to learn this song so that I can monetize it. Oh, that's my oven, sorry. I need to learn this song so I can monetize it, or I need to learn this song for this recital that I have. That's cool. That's a short-term goal. That's nice. But it's not coming from your heart. It's coming from your mind. Everyone's like trying to monetize everything these days. Even this video, like every single time I create something, I have like this thought in my mind that's like, oh, is this gonna make you money though? And I feel like that's absolutely like destroying our spirit. I think humans were put on this planet to create. Existentialism is like a philosophical term. I don't know the specific definition, but it's basically like we all exist and we're all here and no one told us to do anything. But since the beginning of modern humans, we've been creating, even when it like all the way down from like the art that they used to rot in the caves to like the food that we make and how we make it. Food, like cooking is an art form, drawing is an art form. Like, I think that humans need an outlet in order to be fulfilled. I think that we don't understand our brain, and our brains have like a computational power that's like damn near quantum, because our circuitry will rewire itself to fit the situation that we're in or when we learn something new. And like just like walking through a trail in a forest, the more times you step on that path, the more defined that neural pathway is going to be. And your neuroplasticity, like it lessens as you get older, and plasticity is basically just like if your brain is like jelly when you're born, it slowly just hardens, and like that's for the neurons in your head to like create a network for the life that you live. And so I just think it's very important to always be creating, because that steps outside of the bounds of survival. It's an abundant thing, but today we're all urged to like do a side hustle, start a social media page, put only our best self on there for other people to see, uphold our egos through such things, film everything that we're doing, like monetize whatever. Like all the older people, they're like, I mean, for the people who are watching that are my age, I know that the older generations like always telling you like, oh, like you need to monetize that, you need to monetize that, you need to cut your hair down so that you'll be more presentable for work. Like when I graduated, everyone was telling me to cut my hair, cut my afro, so that I could be more hireable. That was over a year ago, and I'm fine now. I'm kind of just ranting at this point about just like why we need to create, but I just think I think we have a very massive hard drive in our heads, and it holds memories, traumas, fears, but also desires, passions, dreams. And if you don't create, if you don't, put it in this journal, put it in a journal or meditate on it or process the information that you're getting into your head all the time, then eventually you're gonna crash out. You're gonna suffer, and then you're gonna hate. And then that hatred is basically like why society is the way it is. It's because we're all like chasing success. We're all trying so hard to like figure out who we are and what we want. And I think those questions are very, I don't even think they're the right questions to be asking. And I don't necessarily know the right questions, but I know that the wrong questions are like, who, like, I don't even know. It's just like, we're all trying to fit ourselves into a box. And I think that humans are just far too nuanced for that. But it's just, especially like Americans and people in first world countries, your job is like who you are. Like people's literal last names are based off of who they were, or not who they were, but what they did for their job. I think that your name is like a label for you, but it's not who you are. Like I identify as Dorian, but Dorian is not me. That's who I identify as. That's how you guys see me socially. But I'm not Dorian. I'm just a human being existing and doing things to stimulate and survive. Like if your last name is Smith, it's because somewhere far in your lineage was a blacksmith. Like if your last name is like literally my track coach, her last name was Shoemaker. I'm assuming someone in her generation was a cobbler. Like it's just really insane how much we tie our worth, ourselves, and what we can output to our identity, to our ego. I'm not saying that to say like don't like do nothing, but like I think creation is the only way that you can truly see like who you are and what you're into. And obviously the outside world is going to influence that. But like what would help is if we all stopped, because I do this too. I think it's a problem. We all are like, I'm bored, I'm going to consume. I want to eat, I'm going to use YouTube. I want to sleep, I'm going to doom scroll on my phone right before bed. Like everyone, like when you're at work, you're thinking, oh, I just want to go home and watch my favorite TV show. Like, I'm not saying everyone thinks this, but that's where your mind goes because it's the easy path. All your mind wants to do is the least hard thing because that's what it knows, that's what's certain. And your brain only craves certainty and safety and belonging. And we're trying to replace that belonging on Instagram or like with whatever social media platform you use. I'm going to put the best parts of myself online, and hopefully everyone who sees that will just assume that that is who I am in my totality. And it's just not like, I know everyone like talks about this, but I just urge you to create because that's like all we were put on this earth to do. That's all we can do. That's our output. Our input is easy. That's our eyes, that's our ears. Our senses are telling us what's in the world, what stimulates our brain. But creativity is like throw up, but neural throw up. like this morning or last night, I was just really bored and I knew I had things to do, but I really didn't want to do anything. So I kind of just sat there, and then I went to bed at like 10 p.m. And this morning I woke up and I read my book, and I decided, why don't I go on this streak of not looking at screens? And I started journaling, and that's why I'm making this video now. And then I was opening this book that always sits on my table for decoration, and I looked at the flowers in the book, and I haven't drawn in a while, and that's an old hobby I used to do when I was a child. before the world told me to be nonchalant, or I felt like I had to be nonchalant or whatever to fit in or whatever. I used to draw in class, get in trouble. I stopped doing it eventually. And now here I am drawing, and I'm not as good as I used to be, but who knows if I stick with it. But I feel like drawing for the sake of drawing is the best thing you can do. You shouldn't be doing something to get better at it. You should be doing it to do it. It's not about how good is my drawing compared to anyone else's. It's all subjective. And if you draw to get good, it's not going to be fun. If you learn piano to play that sonata or whatever, it's not going to be good. You just got to do it to do it. You got to do life to do it. Every day is its own day. Tomorrow will be a new one, but today you can create. And I'm not saying like you have all the time in the world. Like, there are things that you have to do. You have to do a job. You have to get a job. You have to live. You have to eat. You have to survive. But if you don't make time for this, then you're not really living. I think the brain is a computer. It's just the input is experience and the output is creation. Just find your medium, and you don't have to select one. You can choose one every single day. I do like a million different things. I'm okay with being a jack of all trades. I don't have to be a master of anything, but who knows, one day I'm sure I'll fall into whatever I get into, and I'll be a master at something. But you have to try to find out. You have to do to find out. Like, create. That's all I gotta say. See ya.